Iceland's Disaster Management by Nathan Andrews. The history behind Iceland's organizational approach. Avalanches and debris flows occurring in Iceland. Even though Iceland had avalanches, the government did not have a plan until several different avalanches had started occurring. Because of this, citizens were really affected by avalanches because they had no idea that these were going to occur. Next is the government redid the disaster management. When the government redid the disaster management plan, they did this so that all citizens could understand the disaster management. And the citizens that didn't understand it were the ones that were affected. Next was the government never placed emphasis on the hazards before 1995 because the government didn't place emphasis on the hazard during 1995 or before that. A lot of citizens were killed, as I said earlier, or even seriously injured. The implementation pattern of Iceland. Iceland was more of a confused implementation pattern because at sometimes the government will receive information from the citizens, which that means it was a bottom up, and the government figured out what was going on, and then they would help the citizens out. And sometimes the government will already know what's going on, then they will help the citizens, and that would be a top down. So basically, overall, the government was more of a confused implementation pattern. Disasters that happen most often in Iceland. Iceland had many different disasters, but the main two disasters were snow avalanches and debris flows. In one snow avalanche, a total of 200 deaths were taken up because like 200 of those people they had no idea that this avalanche was coming, and like during 1118, that was the first known avalanche. And during the 20th century, 166 deaths was caused by avalanche. That was very bad because a lot of those people had, like I said, had no idea that these avalanches were gonna occur. Debris flows. Debris flows is a variety of different items that include like leaves, trash, tree limbs. It can be cars. It can be anything. But those are very dangerous because that can be a whole bunch of snow. It can be water that goes down the hill, and once you get in it, I mean it's hard to survive from it. And then 65% of inhabitants were affected by this. That includes animals, humans, insects, plants, several other different things. That's just this was bad because all these things affected by this were killed or either like just badly infected. Next is the government involved. The government, even though Iceland is considered confused, the government did try to help out with natural disasters that had happened. The government plan was to make sure all citizens were safe and sound. The government even tried to buy land for areas where citizens were staying in dangerous areas. These citizens that were staying in dangerous areas, the ones that didn't want to leave, they stayed and they were either killed or injured. Potential obstacles to affect disaster management. The geography of Iceland. Obstacles that affect disaster management. The government trying to buy their property. The government tried to buy property from citizens, as I said earlier, and some of those citizens didn't allow this to happen. And by these citizens not allowing this to happen, a lot of those were killed and injured, as I said. And the government had a plan that they tried to put in place, but the plan didn't work. So a lot of citizens were very affected. Disaster management and policies that shaped Iceland. Technology was big because it helped with it helped predict when something was going to happen, like an avalanche or debris flow, and it also helped determine how bad the avalanche or the debris flow was going to be. Research was more of them figuring out um, how often something is going to happen, or for example, how many avalanches Iceland has had, and studying. the studies, that was more of just trying to figure out information on natural disasters. An example is how much destruction it is doing. And that's it. Thank you.